morning. I'm Dominique Dawes, co-chair of the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition, and we now call the meeting to order. Megan, please conduct roll call.
Council members, when I state your name, please indicate for the record that you are present. Dan Barber?
Present.
Drew Brees? Absent. Dominique Dawes?
Present.
Carl Edwards?
Present.
Allison Felix? Absent. Dr. Jane Greenberg? Grant Hill? Absent. Billie Jean King?
Present.
Michelle Kwan?
Present.
Dr. Risa Lavizo Moray? Absent. Cornell McClellan?
Present.
Dr. Stephen McDonough?
Present.
Chris Paul? Absent. Curtis Pride? Absent. Donna Richardson Joyner?
Present.
And Dr. Ian Smith.
Present.
Total council members present, 10. Total council members absent, 6.
Thank you, Megan. We are so excited to officially kick off National Physical Fitness and Sports Month with all of you, and thank our webcast viewers for tuning in. We have a very full schedule today, but I want to make sure we acknowledge some of our colleagues on the council who could not be with us. My fellow co-chair, Drew Brees, is beginning training camp this week with the New Orleans Saints. He regrets that he cannot be here with us today, and he also texted me at 12 a.m. and woke me up, which I was not pleased about, to say that he could not be here. Several of our council members also were unable to make it today due to prior obligations around the world. NBA teammates and fellow council members Chris Paul and Grant Hill just finished up a tremendous season with the Los Angeles Clippers, while head baseball coach at Gallaudet University, Curtis Pride, wrapped up another great season with the Bison. Council member Allison Felix, who was with us yesterday, is now traveling to Qatar to compete in International Association of Athletics Federation's Diamond League. Additionally, council member Michelle Kwan is actually here, though it says you're not, but she is present now, so this is great that she has come to show her support. While we wish everyone could join us today, we know that they are representing us proudly, and they are advancing the council's mission to engage, educate, and empower all Americans to lead a healthy lifestyle and an active lifestyle as well. I think we're ready to get this meeting started. I now have the honor of introducing a wonderful young girl, Abigail Abby Werner. Abby is an 8th grader from Glastonbury, Connecticut, who enjoys rowing on her spare time. She's a part of a sweep crew team. She also plays volleyball, and she loves taking long walks on the beach. No, I'm just kidding. It says she loves taking long walks outdoors with her family. While in 3rd grade, it was a challenge for Abby to perform well on her fitness test in school, and she subsequently started a daily exercise routine with her dad. I love that parent-child interaction. Well, using an early morning 1-hour walk as the foundation of their fitness program, Abby progressed from one of the least fit students at her school to one of the fittest, including an improvement in her mile run time of nearly 5 minutes. She would definitely beat me. That's impressive. Well, this year, Abby's former elementary school used her story as the catalyst for a year-long fitness campaign. Now we have a wonderful chance to hear about Abby's amazing journey of becoming so physically fit. Abby, please come to the stage.
Thank you, Ms. Dawes, and good morning to everyone here today. My name is Abby Werner, and I'm an 8th grader at Smith Middle School in Glastonbury, Connecticut. I'm excited to have the opportunity to share my story with you because kids like me need lots of help to grow up healthy and strong. We need help understanding why it's important to exercise and eat right, and we need help understanding how to do it. But most of all, we need help with motivation and inspiration. My school did a great job of teaching me the why and how, but I did not feel very motivated to be active and get fit until my parents got involved. Without their inspiration and dedication to my health, I would not have had all the enthusiasm I needed to lead a healthy lifestyle. 5 years ago, when I failed my fitness test at school, my dad helped me. He literally grabbed me by the hand, took me for a long walk, and changed my life forever. When I first started exercising with my dad, I didn't believe that I would get fit. but I soon learned that if I stayed with it every day, it got easier and more fun. We walked together for 1 hour every morning before school, and we did curl-ups, push-ups, and stretching every night before bed. My dad didn't force me to do this, but we talked about it and set goals together. And just 6 months later, I passed my fitness test and exceeded the challenge target in all exercises. Since then, even though I still enjoy relaxing, I've been exercising nearly every day, and I actually have fun doing it. Because of the encouragement from great role models like my parents, I've been able to find activities that I enjoy, like bowling, volleyball, and playing tennis with my friends. And what I'm learning is that in addition to being more physically fit, I also have more energy. And I'm a much better student because being active helps me concentrate better, and my grades show it. So I continue to set goals for myself, and my parents help by providing a good reward system that helps to motivate me to reach my goals. Not to mention that I never want to fail my fitness test again, and that motivates me a lot too. Another thing I've learned is that you always have to be willing to push yourself and know you have a little more to give. And for kids like me, it helps to have parents that support me and tell me I can do it. When I first started exercising, I did not like any sports. I would have never thought to go out for a sports team. Now I row crew on an 8-girl sweep boat, and I love it. That never would have happened if my parents weren't so involved in encouraging me to be healthy and active. I was recently diagnosed with epilepsy, and you can believe my parents were there to support me on this too. Now being active and eating right are even more important to help me control my epilepsy. I'm very lucky to have a school system and parents who motivate me who care about my health and fitness at an early age. And hope that by sharing my story, all kids like me and their parents will be inspired and motivated to be healthy and fit. Now it is my honor to introduce Dr. Howard Koh, who is Assistant Secretary for Health at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Dr. Koh oversees 13 core public health offices, including the Office of the Surgeon General and the Public Health Service Commission Corps, 10 regional health offices across the nation, and 12 presidential and secretarial advisory committees. This includes the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition. He also serves as Senior Public Health Advisor to the HHS Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. As the Assistant Secretary for Health, Dr. Koh is dedicated to the mission of creating better public health systems for prevention and care so that all people can reach their highest attainable standard of health. Please help me welcome Dr. Howard Koh.
How about a round of applause for Abby? Wow. She is awesome. And I'm absolutely delighted to welcome all of you here on behalf of the Department of Health and Human Services and Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. And it's so exciting to see this wonderful crowd, to have so many joining us by web stream, and to be in this historic hall where we're surrounded by the secretaries who have served this department in the past, because we are really carrying on a legacy that was started in the 1950s when the President's Council for Fitness was started. We now have a tremendous council here, a very exciting annual meeting planned, and a National Physical Fitness and Sports Month that we are celebrating with you. And the word celebration is absolutely key because this is a day and a month of aspiration, inspiration, perspiration, and celebration. Like that song says, celebrate good times, come on, right? Sorry, that just came out. So first, let me celebrate our wonderful council co-chair, Dominique Dawes. And isn't she astonishing? Round of applause for Dominique. We've all had the pleasure of working closely with her, seeing her passion and her energy. We're so proud she's heading this meeting today. And she also has the distinction of being the only council chair who can do a backflip just to accentuate her point, you know?
So can Carl.
Oh, and Carl too. Okay, great. We got very, very talented leaders here. And I am so grateful to the staff of the President's Council for Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition. Can they all stand and wave and get a round of applause from all of you, the staff of the President's Council? There they are in the back. There we go. Great. And is there any more tireless or fearless leader here in Washington, D.C. than the executive director of the President's Council, Shelley Foll. Where's Shelley? There she is. So this is an astonishing group of leaders, and we're so thrilled to have your support and encouragement as we celebrate this day and this month. And to each and every member of the council, I've gotten to be a colleague and friend for you all, and it's so wonderful and inspiring to see your energy, to see how powerful and positive you always are with respect to the topic of fitness and health. I'm a physician. I've trained in multiple fields. I've cared for patients for over 30 years. I've done research, and I'm a former professor and state health commissioner. But through my journey, I learned that health was much more than what happens in a doctor's office. It's just as important to look at the dimensions of what happens outside a doctor's office, where people live, labor, learn, play, and pray. And that's where the President's Council is so important. And in just a few short years, this dynamic council has forged so many key partnerships. Let me just comment on a couple. Partnerships with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, where they're doing some astonishing work with respect to healthier school breakfasts and school lunches. Work with the Department of Education on the President's Youth Fitness Program. You're going to be hearing more about that today. Work with the Department of Defense on joining forces and their Healthy Base initiative. Work with the Surgeon General's office, where Dr. Benjamin has announced she will lead 1-mile walks every Wednesday in May. This collaboration is so exciting. It's something that we're celebrating, and it reminds me of this beautiful African proverb I just heard this weekend. If we walk alone, we can go fast. But if we walk together, we can go far. And that's what this day is all about. And it's also very exciting that to honor this day and this month, the President has put forward a proclamation. Let me just read a couple key paragraphs of this proclamation honoring National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. The President says, quote, "To help more kids and families get moving and make exercise a lifelong habit, we are working to create more opportunities for physical activity, whether on the playground, in the classroom, or at work. Through Let's Move and the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition, we continue to advance that mission by collaborating with partners in every corner of our country, public and private, large and small, national and neighborhood. Together, we are helping cities, towns, and counties raise a healthier generation of kids. And earlier this year, we built on that work by launching a new program to bring physical activity back to our schools. To learn more and join in, visit www.letsmove.gov and www.fitness.gov. Now, therefore, I, Barack Obama, President of the United States of America, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, do hereby proclaim May 2013 as National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. Isn't that great? Round of applause for the President. And as I close, let me remind you that this work is going on through an absolutely historic time in public health, through the implementation of the Affordable Care Act and health reform. You know this law was signed by the President in 2010. In 2014, we will see full implementation, and this law provides opportunities for better insurance, better care, and very importantly for today, better prevention for millions of Americans. In fact, this law has already given access to preventive services to some 71 million Americans through their private health insurance. So we want to build a theme that we can make the next generation healthier through health reform, through the work of so many people in this room and thousands across the country. This year, as we implement the full potential of health reform, we are approaching October 2013, when millions of Americans can begin to enroll in new health insurance marketplaces, and then in January 1, receive new insurance coverage if they need that coverage. If you want to learn more information about all this, please visit healthcare.gov, where we have ongoing information that I'm sure will be relevant and exciting to all of you. So on behalf of the department, thank you for being here. It's such an exciting day, and let's celebrate. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Dr. Coe. Hi, I'm Shelley Full. I'm the Executive Director of the President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition. Welcome. Add my welcome to today. And thank you to Dr. Coe. How great is it to get to work for a guy like this, right? And to be able to have his support. And that support means so much. And as he said, having the support from the President, the First Lady, the Secretary, and certainly himself as Assistant Secretary for Health means so much to this council and to advance the work that we do each and every day. So thank you, Dr. Coe. Also, thank you to our council members. They work tirelessly. They epitomize what it means to be an active council member. Many of them are called on to serve as surrogates for the First Lady or the President, or to just go out and talk about what being active or eating well means to them. And they do it in an exemplary fashion. So thank you all. I don't get a chance, and thank you, Dr. Coe, for mentioning our staff as well. I don't get a chance very often to thank them publicly. And as Dr. Coe says, we're small but mighty in terms of our numbers. But I do want to take a minute again to thank Shannon in the back. We have Joey, Chris, Megan, Lauren, Meredith, Janelle, and Dana, and our 3 awesome interns, Zach, Brittany, and Laura. So can we give them another round of thanks? Again, tireless champions for our collective mission. As Dr. Coe noted, we've been hard at work collaborating with internal and external partners and stakeholders to promote healthy lifestyles for all Americans. We do this across government platforms, if you will, and working with other departments, but we also work with a lot of you and the organizations that you represent. So that is how we're able to really exponentially reach our citizens, and so we thank you all for those partnerships. At last count, we were well over 300 partnerships of one size, shape, or form. Again, that has allowed us to reach more and more people across our country and help facilitate healthy lifestyles for everyone. Through programs like the Presidential Active Lifestyle Award, the Joining Forces Fitness Initiative, the I Can Do It, You Can Do It program. You're going to hear more about all of these coming up. And the I Can Do It, You Can Do It program is for persons with disabilities, by the way. Our school-based initiatives, the council works also to ensure that Americans of all ages and abilities have the chance to develop healthy habits that will last a lifetime. So can't wait for you to hear more about all of those programs. Now what we're going to do, and we're going to hear from some young folks later in the program, so you're not going to want to miss that. But for right now, our council members are going to give us an update and review some of our programs, our progress, and our priorities over the last year. And we'll take a little look ahead as we go later in the program. So Dominique, I'll turn it back to you.
Great. Well, thank you, Shelley. Over the past 9 months, a large focus of the council has been geared towards the school environment. Believe it or not, for over 50 years, the council has encouraged physical activity in schools and recognized students for participation in the youth fitness test. I'm sure many of you all do remember back in the day when you were in school preparing for that youth fitness test. Either you loved it or you hated it. And I'm sure many of my council members up here, we loved it. I remember doing the sit and reach, and I remember getting to 33 pull-ups, and they eventually pulled me off the bar. So that was something that I definitely excelled at. But we remember that back in the day, but you can only imagine, over the course of the last 50 years, a few things have changed, especially as it relates to assessing youth fitness in schools. So the President's Council has worked closely with key partners across different sectors to modernize the test. As a result, the Council and its partners have developed a new health-related fitness assessment called the Presidential Youth Fitness Program. Throughout the process, we were fortunate to have the guidance of Council Member and District Director of Education and Health and Literacy for Miami-Dade Public Schools, Dr. Jane Greenberg. Jane is a true pioneer in this space and provided invaluable guidance and expertise for the development of the program. So Jane, please share with us a little bit more about your experience, and I'm curious to know the difference between the old test that I did and the new test that's being implemented now.
Thanks, Dominique. Good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to let you know that my arms are still stuck in this position from doing the arm hang. So it was even before you all did the pull-ups. So we're excited about the launch of the new Presidential Youth Fitness Program that we did launch last September. And it is a free voluntary program for all schools, all physical educators across the country. But there's more to it than to come. And I wanted to give you a little story, but I'm going to take away my own personal story and refer to Abby. Because Abby, you epitomize what this program is about. It's about educating students on where their fitness levels are, how to set goals, how to work towards the goal and improve it, and then in doing so, you've improved your lifestyle. I hope you embrace physical activity for the rest of your life. So let's give Abby a big hand because she's what it's about. So there are really two main differences to the test. The first difference is that it's now not just a physical performance test, but it's a health-related assessment. So it doesn't make a difference how fast you are. You don't need to be the fastest one. You don't need to jump the furthest. But what it does is measure the same components of cardiorespiratory efficiency, cardio capacity, muscular strength, endurance, and flexibility. So we're looking to improve the health of our youth through the Presidential Youth Fitness Program. And secondly, assessment isn't just the one piece. It's a whole program. It's an educational program. And what we're looking to do is we're transforming the old fitness test into now one national test known as the FitnessGram. And the FitnessGram, which is based again on health, not performance, the program includes professional development, so we're going to empower teachers to have the tools necessary to incorporate fitness education into their curriculum so that we're giving the students the tools necessary to increase their fitness levels. And lastly is the awards recognition. We've got a new patch, a new logo, we've got medals for the kids, and it's a total comprehensive program of assessment, professional development, and awards and recognition. So as you can see, these three pillars support each other. So for those that are not familiar with the test, again, it's about cardiorespiratory capacity, or aerobic capacity, muscular strength and endurance, and flexibility. So as a result of this new generation of the program, we have unprecedented partnership between the President's Council, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the American Alliance for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance, the Cooper Institute, the Amateur Athletic Union, and the National Foundation on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition, and we now have one national fitness assessment program. So we've taken what was a couple of programs and we've responded to the need, and we have one test. So as a result of this one youth fitness program, it means that all schools across the country will be evaluating, tracking, assessing, and encouraging youth fitness based on the same standards and guidance. And this is a monumental step for the physical education profession. This is the first time in 50 years that we're changing what we're doing. We're upgrading the physical education profession, and we're providing teachers with the tools and the students with the tools necessary to improve their own fitness levels. And it'll be exciting to see the positive changes that unfold at the schools nationwide as they transition into this new program. So to support schools with the implementation of the Presidential Youth Fitness Program, the non-federal partners created a funding opportunity that will expand the efforts of schools to improve students' health. So in applying for funding, schools gain access to additional resources that can support, and this includes the FitnessGram site license and companion materials that will allow teachers to track kids' scores and provide important feedback to kids and parents. Because we want the parents, just as we've seen with Abby's dad here, we want the parents to also engage in physical activity and work with the children in all aspects of their day. We have virtual courses through professional development that'll be self-paced learning and access to actually a 7-hour in-person training workshop to provide support for professional development, one of the major pillars of the program. And of course, the Presidential Youth Fitness Program Awards. I'll be honest, I still have my awards that I've won when I was in elementary and middle school, and I dug them out of the closet, and they are still framed, and it's one thing that I was carried around in my childhood box from place to place. So the awards and recognition really do mean something to the students. So the money is still out there. If you haven't applied yet, we're encouraging, the deadline for application is May 10th. There's still time to make your application, so visit www.presidentialyouthfitnessprogram.org to learn more about this incredible opportunity.
Nice.
Shelley.
Yeah, I'm next.
Great.
By the way, we failed to mention also that Abby and her dad actually wrote a book called Abby Gets Fit. How cool is that? And really talking about Abby's experience and where she came. So you can make sure you ask Abby and her dad, his name is Doug, about their book, Abby Gets Fit. So great job, guys. Great job. And keep inspiring others. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're good. Good. We're gonna do a couple questions. So we've got time. So I kind of want to get Dr. McDonough's down here. He's a pediatrician from Bismarck, North Dakota. I think there's still snow on his front yard. So he's just happy to be here, right? So Dr. McDonough, you heard about the FitnessGram software and the fact that this report tells kids and parents where the student falls in terms of being in a healthy fitness zone. And how do you, as a pediatrician, do you think that that type of information, if that could be shared with pediatrician offices in a succinct way, is that something that you as a pediatrician would like to hear and see and be conversant with parents and kids about?
Yes, I think it'd be very helpful, Shelley. We'd have to sign releases so the schools and the doctors and the parents would agree that we would communicate. I again want to compliment Abby and her dad for what they've been able to accomplish, because it's not all children are able to do that. And having the parental involvement, the whole family doing this together is the best way to do it. With the electronic medical records, pediatricians and family physicians that are taking care of children, we're getting the body mass index calculated for us, and we're seeing it, and we can tell the parents where their child compares to other children and set some goals. But the doctor by themselves, he or she cannot write a prescription that's going to lead to weight loss. We need to plug the kids into community activities to support the families so the children will eat better and exercise more. We give the message of 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, 2 hours or less of TV time, and an hour of physical activity more a day. But unless you get support in the community for that to help the families out of the doctor's office, it's not going to be successful. So yes, and the other thing that's important is that when children get to elementary grades, we don't see them very often unless they're ill. They don't come in very frequently for checkups. And getting information back from the schools about how fit the child is will alert us to help the families meet the challenges of having their children get fitter. So it would be very helpful for us.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk a lot on the council about changing culture. And this program, the Presidential Youth Fitness Program, coupled with Let's Move Active Schools, which we'll talk about as well, really is searching to change the culture of where our kids spend 6 or 7 hours a day. But as we all know, we've also got to bring that into the home and into the community. And that's why all of our partnerships are so important. Anybody else want to weigh in? Anybody else have questions or thoughts on the new program? Personal experiences? Cornell? Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Cornell.
I remember when we were talking about this and talking about why we thought it was so important. Good morning to you all. And I get excited when talking about fitness. But I think what's so great about it is one of the things that we talked about is how testing itself can be intimidating. And when we talk about changing the culture and we start talking about evaluations and we look at fitness being a lifestyle, and you know how people study for the test, and a test is such a short-term kind of a thing, but an evaluation is about a lifetime. So I think it helps to change the whole premise of what this is about. This is about just being the best you can be. It reminds me of the Montessori school that we had yesterday, that everybody is at their own place and you're not competing against the kid next to you, but yourself. And so I think that alone does just wonders in terms of changing the culture and saying that it's about health and it's about fitness and it's not about the test, which a lot of times people only study for the test. So I think it's great for that reason.
Cornell, thank you for that. One of the things that I want to also add is that the Presidential Youth Fitness Program is not about grading students. Students should not receive a grade on their report card for this assessment. This assessment is to transform and change the culture of physical education and provide teachers and students with tools to improve that. So it's a whole transition in physical education, but it's for improvement, not for grading students. And I thought that was important. And the other issue that I want to mention that I didn't before, and I do apologize, is we want all students assessed, and including our students with disabilities. So for students with disabilities that are in physical education, we do also recommend the Brockport Fitness Assessment so that the students can also earn the same benefits of the awards and recognition and professional development.
Any other comments? Okay, we'll keep on schedule. So, as you can tell, this is a big deal. First time in 50 years that we've substantially changed our way of doing fitness tests, fitness testing, and I don't even like to call it a test, quite honestly. It's an assessment, and our real goal is to get kids getting in their 60 minutes a day. Their 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity every day. That's our real goal. And in support of that, in 2008, for the first time, our department, Health and Human Services here, put out a report and was supported by the subject matter experts from across the country related to the physical activity guidelines. So physical activity guidelines for Americans. And in that report, it was really the first time that, believe it or not, that we were really talking about the need for young people to get 60 minutes a day of physical activity and for adults to get at least 30 minutes of physical activity, moderate to vigorous physical activity on most days of the week. So from that report, we have continued to grow the research, to grow our knowledge base on what works. And in 2013, this year, we actually looked at what we called a mid-course report. If you look at a 10-year cycle, which is the cycle for when the next official report will come out in 2018. But this is kind of our mid-course, our 5-year time frame. And so this year, led by Council Member Dr. Risa Lovizo-Mori from Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, who unfortunately was not able to be here today, but she led the subcommittee that really took a deep dive into what are the effective strategies for getting young people moving. That was kind of the slice we took out of this. So let's take a laser focus on one area. And I see Katrina Butner and Amber here from the Office of Disease Prevention and Health Promotion, who were champions, and including Megan from our staff, that really staffed up this group and made it work. And so this group really took that laser focus on what are the effective strategies. It's all fine and good that kids need 60 minutes. How are we going to help them get there? And that's what this report was all about. So, and it really looked at 5 settings. It looked at the school, the preschool, and childcare was the second setting. So school, preschool, childcare, and then also the community, family and home, and then primary care setting. And so from there, it gives recommendations in each of those areas. It also talks about where the evidence is most significant, and we know, for example, that having a quality daily physical education has the most strength, most evidence for getting kids their 60 minutes and therefore helping them to be healthy and grow up to be healthy adults. Okay? That was borne out in the evidence that was put forth. And so, making quality physical activity a part of a school day, including physical education as well as throughout the school day, is important. healthy habits early in those childcare settings, whether that's at home or in the preschool, is really, really important as well for getting kids active and, as we say, helping kids express their love of movement. I don't think we need to teach kids the love of movement. I think they have it organically. We need to let them express that love of movement. Building the physical environment. This is the community part now. This is where we talk about the built environment. But building the physical environment around us, those cities, towns, neighborhoods, those sidewalks, those parks, the greenways are so important. And again, the research that was looked at, thousands and thousands of pieces of research bore that out in the outcomes. Family and home, again, need for parents and caregivers to be active with their young kids. And of course, physicians. We need physicians to be able to talk to their patients, both the kids and adults, about the importance of being physically active every day. One thing that we want to emphasize is that, well, we know there's a lot of emphasis on obesity and a lot on childhood obesity, and rightly so. We have to remember that obesity is the symptom. Obesity is the symptom. We really, in my opinion, need to focus on the importance of being physically active and eating well if we truly are going to get to obesity and the other myriad of things that are caused if we do not do those things. So that's an important thing that we try to emphasize as we go about our business as well. So those role models, whether you're a teacher, a parent, physician, is all really, really important for helping kids that get their 60 minutes a day. And I believe we have the physical activity guidelines. The physical activity guidelines, if you need to access those, you can go to fitness.gov and we'll get you to the right page. So if you want to know what's effective in your setting, whatever setting you are, if you go to fitness.gov, you can pull that up. So again, thank you to Dr. Risa Lavizza-Mori in absentia for leading that subcommittee. She did an awesome job, and to our wonderful staff members as well. So Dom, that's the physical activity guidelines.
Great. Well, that was great that you obviously acknowledged Risa's commitment, because she was working very hard on the mid-course report. And as Shelley so eloquently pointed out, the focus, one of the key settings that was addressed in the mid-course report was definitely the school setting. We know that kids are in school 6 to 7 hours a day. It's a great environment for kids to build those healthy habits there. And we know that if we teach kids healthy habits while they're young, they'll hopefully follow those same habits as they become adults and hopefully become healthy adults. Now, not too long ago, I was blessed to be in Chicago with the First Lady, as well as with Cornell, as well as with Allison Felix, to help kick off the Let's Move Active Schools initiative. And it's just a great opportunity for the First Lady, the President's Council, to team up and work together to really impact these young kids and change their lives. And so, Cornell, I want you to share a little bit about what Active Schools is all about.
I would love to. Again, good morning again. I was just sitting here and I was thinking about Active Schools, and I was thinking about Abby's story and and how this can affect that. And I was like, just how incredible a job she's done. And I said, I started feeling a little inadequate. I said, she got up and she talked about her incredible story, and Dr. Cole got up and he sang, and then he mentioned that you and Carl could turn backflips. And I was like, what am I going to do? I was like, well, you all saw I came in on a crutch, so I can't do anything today. But on a serious note, yes, I was there in Chicago with you all, and it was incredible. It was an incredible feat to see the launch of Let's Move Active Schools kick off. It was about 5,000 to 7,000 kids there, and to watch professional athletes and the First Lady really take the kids through just exercise and fun and having fun, and they were really moved by the First Lady's ability to be as fit as any professional athlete up there. And it was it was an incredible feat to watch the kids and their excitement and the energy in the room. So it was just incredible.
By the way, this is the guy that trains the First Lady. And the
Those
President.
arms, yeah.
This is the guy.
Yeah. Well, as you can see, she's pretty fit. Yeah. But as she said, Let's Move's Active Schools is one of the newest initiatives or sub-initiatives of the Let's Move movement, and it focuses on increasing physical activity throughout the school day. And it was founded on the premise that we are all designed to move. Now, I always say that when I'm speaking to people or when I'm training people, that you have two options. You either move to sustain life or you steal to create decay. So you got two choices. And this program hopes to create positive experiences for children by integrating physical activity into everyday life, and someday where future generations will embrace physical activity as a lifestyle, and it will be considered the norm. By empowering school champions like Abby, like her dad, and PE teachers and classroom teachers, principals, administrators, and people from the community, this enables all students to get moving and reach their full potential. Active schools incorporate physical activity opportunities before, during, and after school, and it focuses on 5 particular areas: physical education, physical activity during school, staff involvement, physical activity before and after school, and family and community engagement. Through Let's Move Active Schools, champions will have access to free resources from professional development and technical assistance to help guide them through this experience. And what's incredible by that is that for a long time, schools have found themselves trying to fit in the pigeonhole and make things work. Sometimes they don't have enough resources. What's great about this is that they now have people that they can depend on that will come in. They'll have the resources to help train people, to help motivate people, to help coach people. So it's just an incredible feat to have that going on. We have an ambitious goal, though, and our goal is to engage nearly half of the schools across the country in this program. And now that's about 50,000 schools. If this can be done, we are well on our way for making lasting, substantial change. The good news is we have champions stepping up in every area. For instance, under the leadership of Superintendent Cavallo and our own council member, Dr. Jane Greenberg from Miami-Dade Public Schools, they've already committed their whole school district, which is over 400 schools. So inspired by one champion, we got 400 schools. So if you think about that, each one of you all can be a champion. So to date, more than 3,400 champions and almost 3,000 schools nationwide have signed up into this program. So now before we go on, before I give it back to Shelley, I want you all to pay attention to a video that we have that will kind of show First Lady Michelle Obama.
When kids have early positive experiences with physical activity, that sets them on the course for life. This is a groundbreaking, earth-shattering, awesomely inspiring day. Anyone in any community can become a champion. So if you're an educator, especially a physical education teacher, we need you to serve as one of those champions and rally support from your community. If you're a principal or a superintendent, we need you to spread the word about this program and support the champions in your schools. Encourage them to innovate and experiment. If you're a parent, remember, you can serve as a champion yourself. You see, this is about so much more than keeping our kids physically active. And it's about more than making sure that they do well in school. I mean, this is about giving our kids the structure and support they need to thrive in every single aspect of their lives.
a great kickoff. Again, this was just launched at the end of February. We have schools signing up every day. I think we're up over around 3,000 schools already signed up, on our way to 50,000. Just yesterday, and we think our numbers will definitely spike after yesterday. Yesterday, we were all out at a school right here in DC and had a chance to really take this message about Let's Move Active Schools to more than 1,000 schools through our partnership with Discovery Education. So we were live streamed, webcast out to 1,000 schools across the country. And Dominique, of course, led an exciting and really an interactive segment with a class full of local students who asked wonderful questions, did they not? And again, thanks to Discovery Education, we were able to live stream that and not only reach a school here, but schools all across the country. So we need your help. We need your help to spread the word about Let's Move Active Schools. So if you can adopt one school or 80 schools or 400 schools, we'll take them. We'll take them all. And again, if you go to fitness.gov or Let's Move Schools, letsmoveschools.org. Letsmoveschools.org is the direct site to find out all the information on Let's Move Active Schools. So we need champions. We need champions to sign up schools, and that champion doesn't have to be the PE teacher. It could be a parent, could be the school nurse, could be the principal, could be anyone. And so anyone can be that champion to get the ball started, and then it takes you through a whole 6-step process for becoming a Let's Move Active School. So hopefully you will join us. We are already seeing success stories. Certainly there are schools that are leading the way as it relates to kind of the whole school environment before, during, and after school. Do you all have some stories that you have from your own areas or that we've shared or learned about through our council process that you guys would like to throw out?
Well, I've been notified that there's been a number of different success stories. I was not at these different schools, but in Illinois, Massachusetts, as well as in Colorado, where either parents or teachers are jumping to the forefront, becoming champions, and even creating what they call brain breaks, where maybe during class they'll get the kids up for even just 10 minutes. Yesterday, Alice and Felix put us to work. I was nearly starting to sweat. I think you guys were breathing hard too. The kids were fine. And just that little break for 10 minutes really helped excite us and get us moving. And actually, I think in less than an hour, Donna's going to jump up in her 4-inch heels and get us all working out as well. So, I think a lot of times young kids get really antsy sitting in their seats. And I love hearing how teachers are taking a little bit of a break during class to get kids moving so they can get back down and then focus and then get the job done in school. And I just want to commend those areas.
Absolutely. Jane, you got any good examples in your school district?
We're just excited that right now we're about 30% of our schools signed up, and the principals become heroes or the champions in the school, parents, students. It can take anybody, and the answer is right in front of us. And during the school day is so critical because that's where the kids are. So we need everybody pitching in and getting kids physically active, and especially reducing the amount of physical inactivity that they experience in the 6 to 7 hours a day. So it is the entire school day, the before, during, and after school hours that count.
I want to be clear on, well, I know it always is a challenge when I go out and talk with people is, let's go through again how they can sign up and what does that really mean, okay? That's what, if I were asking a question and I'm like, okay, yep. I've already thought of, with Team Tennis, we have 8 cities. How do I call the mayor? Do I call the school district? What do I do for them to sign up? Because that's really what I would like to understand. And I think maybe people out here and watching would like to know, because I know we talk about it, but what can I do to help and get people to truly sign up? And if they sign up, what does that actually mean?
Right.
Okay. So all right, I want to get at least 8 cities plus some others. Is New York City signed up, for instance, all the public schools?
We've got some schools sign up, some not.
Okay, so they have to go
that's a great-
school by school?
It's really school by school, but
Not
then
district.
then we have champions like some superintendents that say, hey, I want all my schools to sign
Okay.
up. And he's holding them accountable.
So who do I call to nudge?
It's
a
better.
superintendent
It's
or who?
better if we could go to the superintendent. Obviously,
Okay.
that's a lot faster. If we can get the superintendents or a chancellor.
Chancellor?
We're meeting, for example, we're meeting with DC Public School Chancellor,
chancellor.
here in a couple weeks, and be talking to her about all of her schools and getting all of them signed up. So obviously, much easier if we can go superintendent by superintendent, because that captures a whole district. And to answer your question, Billy, on what happens. So when a champion goes on to activeschools.org and signs up as a champion, that doesn't mean they have to do everything. Just means that they're kind of they're the ones that's spurring everybody on. And the first thing that we're going to ask them to do, the first step, is really to create a school wellness committee, a school wellness committee. And so that could be, again, the secretary in the front office. It could be the janitor, the PE teacher, some classroom teachers, some parents. Could be the principal, him or herself. It doesn't matter. Pull together your committee.
So someone has to mobilize this.
Someone has to mobilize.
Okay, so someone has to be the champion.
Yep, that's the champion. So step one, pull together, you're a champion, and you're going to pull together a committee. Step two is we've got a self-assessment, if you will, just so you can start taking stock. Gosh, do we have any before-school programs? How is our physical education program doing? What's going on in PE? What about after-school opportunities? Do we have those for kids? Are we doing any instant recesses or brain breaks in classroom? Are we integrating with our classroom subjects? Is that going on in our school? So it really kind of allows you to take stock of what's going on in that school day, that school environment. Are we engaging parents? Are we doing any fun fitness nights so we're engaging parents and letting them know what's going on? So we do that whole assessment, and this is all on the computer, so you're just, clicking yes or no or whatever, and boom, it comes up with a whole action plan for you. So you have now your Let's Move action plan that says, hey, awesome job, you got some great after-school programs going, but maybe physical education is somewhere where this school needs a little help. So it's not only going to say, here are the areas where you might need some more support, but here are the resources. Here are the resources. So many free resources out there. We've got several partners here that supply those resources. And then beyond that, did we mention the grant program earlier? Yeah, so the grant programs that Jane mentioned. So depending, if you need help in after school, we now are working with Childhood Obesity 180, the Gen Youth Foundation. I see our partners back here, the Gen Youth Foundation and the Fuel Up to Play 60 folks. Again, Childhood Obesity 180. And then, for the first time ever, we have a grant now for the Presidential Youth Fitness Program. So if you're looking for before or after school programming, we might direct you to the Gen Youth grants or the Childhood Obesity grants. If you're looking for something that strengthens your physical education program, meaning implementing the awesome new Presidential Youth Fitness Program, we'll direct you to that grant. So there is funding available now to help schools get better. And then, Billy, from there, it all goes into implementation and then to kind of reevaluating, and so you're constantly getting better. And so you can't get better on everything at once, but by continuing to reevaluate and energize folks, we can truly change the school environment. Thanks for asking. And now, I know we got notes on Billy, right? 8 cities plus.
Well, I don't know. I have to know who to call. That's why I'm asking.
Well, we've got that. You'll have your action plan before you leave today.
I know you will.
All right. Let's see where we are in time. Great. That was great dialogue. So next thing kind of flows right in. We, this past year, did a physical education or physical activity outreach initiative. And what that is really messaging. We did messaging out. And these messages are available for you all to use. Again, really fitness.gov, fitness.gov is kind of your one-stop shop, and we will take you to all of these. We will take you to all of the different programs that we've been talking about. So what these PSAs is really creating the relationship between physical activity and academic success. So again, still focused on our young people, and physical activity and not only creates good health, but academic success, because there's a mountain of research that shows that that's what happens, okay? Our lovely and talented Dominique Dawes did a PSA, as did our other co-chair, Drew Breeze, and since Drew's not here, we're going to show his PSA in a moment. But again, what these PSAs really talk about, and we have television, we have radio, and we have print PSAs, print ads. You all can have them. You all can use them. Whether it's for your own purposes with your constituents, or if you have local media that you want to hand these to and ask them to run them, please do it. Please do it, okay? So the whole deal is getting that 60 minutes a day, relationship to academic success, and I think the PSA itself will tell the story. So if we can run the Drew Breeze PSA.
I'm Drew Breeze, and being a dad means the world to me. And one of the most important things any parent can do is make sure their kids get active at least 60 minutes each day. Studies show that physical activity not only helps kids stay healthy, it can enhance important skills like concentration and problem solving, which can improve academic performance. This means physical activity can help your kids in the most important game of all, life.
Cool, huh? That's awesome. The importance of being a dad, right? The importance of engaging with your kids, and the importance of being physically active. And not only its relationship to better health, but academic success. And that's not just better grades, which we know is part of it, but less absenteeism, fewer behavioral problems, more time on task. All of those things are critically important. So please use those PSAs. They belong to you. Go to fitness.gov, you can download them. If you need the print ads or the radio PSAs, we can get those to you. And please take those wherever you can with your constituents or your local media areas, okay? We're right on time. Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And by the way, we do promise to get you up and moving here shortly. So beware. But I'm now going to pitch it back to Dominique to talk about the I Can Do It, You Can Do It program.
Thank you very much, Shelley. Well, we're very excited. Actually, 2 weeks from today, we will be releasing a new and improved version of the I Can Do It, You Can Do It program. And for those of you all that may not be familiar with this program, it specifically reaches out to kids as well as adults with intellectual and physical disabilities. And this one's very near and dear to my heart with a younger brother with autism. And I remember when I was younger, he was never very much active in school participating like sports programs, though we would play basketball a little bit when I wasn't at the gymnastics gym in our backyard. He beat me once, and I never played with him again. I'm a sore loser. But obviously we know who's been spearheading and working so hard on this program, and that would be Dr. Jane here. And why don't you give us a little bit more information about the new and improved program, and I look forward to joining you on May 21st actually, in Miami to award these amazing achievers.
Thanks, Dominic. We're really excited about this program. And if my voice cracks in this brief presentation, bear with me, because first of all, this program is going to be launched, and we have a couple of people in the audience that have been on the consensus panel. So I would like to truly recognize the Honorable Dr. Margaret Giannini and Dr. Bob Arnhold from Slippery Rock University for all your hard work on this project. So thank you so much for your leadership. Stand. So on May 21st, what we're actually going to do is this is our 9th awards ceremony, but our 10th year of implementing the program. And what we've done is ensure that every child with a disability, regardless of the disability, physical, intellectual, hearing impaired, visually impaired, gets a minimum of 30 minutes of physical activity every day. And in doing so, what they earn is the PALA Plus, the President's Active Lifestyle Award, which is the physical activity plus nutrition. And this year, Once again, we'll have over 1,200 students with disabilities receiving their Pala Plus Award, and we couldn't be any prouder. And as we distribute the awards, the one thing that always gets me is we start our presentation by saying, we're here to honor the students with disabilities who participate in 30 to 60 minutes of physical activity every day. Some students start out wheeling around a wheelchair for 22 minutes around the track, and by the end of the semester, they're down to 12 minutes. And what we really do is say, thank you for your participation in physical activity and for doing every day what we take for granted. So there's no excuses, and we embrace our children with physical disabilities in every part of physical activity and physical education. And it's exciting, but what we're going to do is roll this out as a national rollout. We don't want to be the only public school. We don't want to hit 100 schools. We want to hit the same 50,000 schools that we're challenging to engage in Let's Move Active Schools, and getting every school that has children with disabilities engaged in daily physical activity. But what's new about this program is not only is it about the youth, but we're engaging colleges and universities, we're engaging community centers. We want physical activity to be part of the lifespan of persons with disabilities from early childhood well into adulthood, and this is a celebration of physical activity. So as we move forward, we're excited to administer the awards, we're excited to have the council, and Dominic, thank you so much for your agreeing to come down and be part of this program. And the challenge is to move forward and get every school, every community, every university engaged in making sure that persons with disabilities have the same opportunities as children in the general population. And in absence, just another example of Curtis Pride, another one of our council members. He has a large group of hearing impaired athletes every day as he's the baseball coach at Gallaudet University. So we know that this can happen. We know in every facet, and we'd like to honor his work as well. So in absence, let's give Curtis a big hand for what he's done.